Hey everyone! Every single time you tap on your phone or click a mouse, you are sending a little piece of information on this absolutely incredible journey. Today, we're going to trace that path. We're going to look at the invisible highways and the unspoken rules of the road that let our data just zip around the globe in literally the blink of an eye. So, let's get into it. I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. You hit send on a message, and your friend on the other side of the planet gets it almost instantly. How does that even work? It really feels like magic, but what it actually is this brilliant system of rules and physical pathways. So come on, let's follow a piece of data and see exactly how that journey happens. Okay, first things first, we have to understand that data, kind of like people, has different ways of talking to each other. It really all boils down to the direction of the conversation. These are called transmission modes, and there are three main types that, believe it or not, you use every single day. So to start, imagine someone giving a speech or a lecture. All the information is flowing out, but there's no way for the audience to talk back using that same channel, right? Well, that's simplex mode. It is a one-way street for data. The sender sends and the receiver just listens. That's it. And this one-way street is everywhere once you start looking for it. When you listen to the radio or watch a TV broadcast, that's a classic one-way signal. Even when you type on your keyboard and the letters pop up on your monitor, that's a one-way command. Those giant digital billboards on the highway? Yep, they're just receiving data, not sending a single thing back. Now, what happens if you need a reply, but you have to take turns? Well, that's where half duplex comes in. And the perfect way to think about this is a walkie-talkie. You can talk or you can listen, but you cannot do both at the same time. It's that classic conversation where you have to say over just to let the other person know it's their turn to speak. And yeah, you see this in all those push-to-talk systems, old school CB radios, and a lot of intercoms. The data can go both ways, sure, but because it's sharing a single lane, it has to be one at a time. It works, but it's not exactly a natural flowing conversation, is it? And that brings us to the mode that basically powers our entire modern interactive world, full duplex. This is a real conversation. Both sides can send and receive data at the exact same moment, just like when you're on the phone with someone and you can talk over each other. And this mode is just everywhere. A phone call, a Zoom meeting, a fast-paced online game, even something as simple as browsing a web page involves this constant, simultaneous back and forth of data. This is the mode that makes our real-time world possible. So let's just recap that really quick. Simplex is a one-way street. Half duplex is a two-way street, but it only has one lane, so you gotta take turns, and full duplex is a multi-lane superhighway. You can see there's a clear trade-off here. As you move towards full duplex, the conversation gets way more efficient. But as you'd expect, the technology behind it gets a lot more complex. Okay, so we've got the rules of the conversation down. But what about the roads themselves? What is data actually traveling on? Well, first, let's look at the physical guided highways, the actual wires and cables. I bet a lot of us still have this exact cable coming into our homes. This is a coaxial cable, and its design is really simple, but also pretty clever. You see that copper wire in the middle? That carries the data. But the real hero is that metallic shield around it. It acts like armor, protecting the signal from all the electrical noise and interference from the outside world. These cables are the absolute workhorses for cable TV and a ton of broadband internet connections. Why? Well, because they offer pretty high bandwidth and have that great resistance to interference we just talked about. The only downside is that they're a bit bulkier and more expensive than, say, old-school telephone wires. But even copper wires have their limits. The true superstar, the superhero of wired communication, is this stuff right here. Fiber optic cable. Instead of metal, those incredibly thin, colorful strands you're looking at are actually pure glass. So get this, instead of sending electrical signals down a wire, fiber optics send pulses of light through glass. I mean, just think about that for a second. We are transmitting data literally at the speed of light. This allows for just unbelievable speed and bandwidth, which is exactly why these cables form the backbone of the entire global internet. The only catch? It's pretty expensive and delicate stuff to install. But what about when there are no wires? I mean, a huge amount of our data is just flying through the air. This is the world of unguided media, or as we all know it, wireless. This slide shows the two heavyweights of wireless communication. Over on the left, you've got radio waves. They are fantastic because they can travel really long distances and pass right through obstacles like walls in your house. But on the right, you have microwaves. They can carry more data, but they have one major weakness. They can't bend around things. They absolutely need a perfectly clear straight line of sight to work.
So it makes perfect sense, right? Radio waves, since they go through walls, are perfect for your home Wi-Fi and for your cell phone connecting to a nearby tower. Microwaves are used for those point-to-point links, like bouncing a signal off a satellite in space. And then there's infrared. That's the really short-range, line-of-sight wave that your TV remote uses.
Now let's zoom in on a wireless technology that I guarantee every single one of us has in our pocket right now. Bluetooth. It's an absolute master of short-range communication, and it creates a tiny little personal network all around you. Now, we usually think of Bluetooth as just being for our headphones, which are right next to our ears. But get this, modern versions can actually reach up to 100 meters. That's over 300 feet. It's specifically designed to connect all our personal gadgets without totally draining their batteries. And its versatility is just incredible. I mean, think about it. Your wireless headphones and speakers, your wireless keyboard and mouse. It lets you zap files between your phones, and it powers a huge part of the Internet of Things, connecting everything from your fitness tracker to your smart home devices. So we have these two big families of data highways, the physical wired paths and the invisible wireless ones. How do they really stack up against each other? Is one better than the other? Well, the choice between wired and wireless really just comes down to trade-offs. Wired connections are super stable, they're secure, and they are incredibly fast, but they chain you to one spot. Wireless gives us this amazing freedom and mobility, but it comes at the cost of a little speed and a higher chance of interference. The real truth is our modern world absolutely depends on both of them working together perfectly. And this right here is where it all comes together. No single system works all by itself. Just think about a simple video call. The conversation itself, that's happening in full duplex mode. The signal might travel across an ocean through fiber optic cables, get beams between cities using microwaves, and then, for that final hop, it reaches your phone from a local cell tower as radio waves. It is this beautiful, complex dance of technology happening every single second. So I'll leave you with a final question to think about. We all love the freedom of wireless, right? But we've just seen that the incredible speeds that we all demand rely on that physical backbone of fiber optic cables buried under the ground. So, is a completely wireless future really possible? Or will we always be tethered to the ground by these hidden highways of light? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.